We are excited to have a visionary leader joining us who's been at the forefront of multimedia content and communications for over 25 years. As the founder of Miles Ahead Entertainment and Broadcasting and the Mocha Podcasts Network, she has created a space for authentic voices to reach diverse audiences from a Black perspective.
Yeah, her commitment to amplifying unapologetic thought leaders and reflecting the culture, lifestyle, and diaspora of people of color is truly inspiring. Please join us in welcoming the trailblazing Sheila Etheridge right here on FOXSOUL's Black Report. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Sheila, so nice to see you. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the creation of the Mocha Podcast Network and its focus on women of color?
Well, 12 years ago, I started the Cafe Mocha radio show. It's a nationally syndicated radio show for women of color. And they told us we couldn't do it. You could never have women lead the conversation. And 12 years later, we're the #1 network now for women of color on the radio. And as the industry grew, we needed more time to tell our stories. And so that's really kind of was the impetus for the Mocha Podcast Network, is to be a platform for women of color to hear our voices, our opinions, and most importantly, to inspire one another. We launched right around right before the pandemic. And so we needed that voice and we needed that vehicle to kind of inspire one another. So that's really kind of how it came about as the outgrowth of the Cafe Mocha radio show.
And let me tell you, it is delicious. The guests are yummy, and it is just an amazing conversation. So what do you believe sets the Mocha Broadcast Network apart from other podcasts that are now out there trying to do what you've been doing for a while, especially?
Well, what really sets us apart is our content. You're not going to hear about the gossip and what's going on every day. You're going to hear conversations that inspire one another. We think it's so important that, as women, that we amplify our voices, we be a vehicle for our voices, but most importantly, that we inspire one another. When I went to Sherry Shepherd and Kim Whitley, they were like, why do a podcast? And I said, look, you all, what you all speak on as two funny mamas with children and navigating now the entertainment world and film and TV and taking care as being mothers is important. And that really has been kind of the flagship on how we curated our podcast for the network, is that it has to be about a niche and it has to be inspiring women. And inspire not just women, but everyone, because men like to listen like a fly on the wall.
They better. They better.
We sure do. With such a diverse, I just want to pick up on that thread for a second. So with, a diverse range of podcast topics and genres on the network, how do you go about curating content and selecting podcasters to make sure it's authentic representation of Black women, of women of color, and not, just sort of a caricature of who we are, but really authentic voices.
Right.
I go back to the old-fashioned way of doing business, and that is sitting down and meeting and getting to know the person. I think it's so important that you can tell a lot when you meet a person in person, and you have a real conversation and you hear what their journey is. Podcasts are all about storytelling. And so knowing what their journey is, what they want to offer, what they've been through, because, podcasts are about the trials and tribulations too. So that's really how we curate it. But what's great is that we've got our bigger podcasters, which are the Sherrys and the Kims, Cafe Mocha, In Vogue, and, Rolanda Watts, but we've got the baby podcasters too, that they get the opportunity to share their vision and their journey with some of these bigger podcasts. So we have a nice group of listening audience that comes to our platform.
Yeah, so with your extensive, experience in the media industry, I come from radio, so I know exactly who you are, Miss Sheila. Salute to you. Oh, I know the climb, ma'am. Yes, I do. What advice would you give to aspiring content creators creators, especially the ones you just mentioned, women of color, looking to make their mark in the podcasting world specifically?
That now is the time. Most importantly, the technology has allowed us this vehicle, and to just do it. Just take your shot and do it. And a podcaster, it does the unique and perfect thing about podcasts is that you can do them anywhere. And keep in mind, podcasts are moving to become vodcast because everything, needless to say, is video. So now is the time to do it.
Yeah, so now you got to look cute. There was a time in podcasting
at all times
where you got to put it all on nowadays.
There's no escaping
it really has evolved. It really has.
That's right.
Yeah.
In a minute, we'll be consuming it all through YouTube.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right. Sheila, before we let you go, how can people find out more about you and your work, and how can they join the movement?
Well, two things. One is you can easily go to the milesaheadentertainment.com, and you'll see all of our production work that we've done over the years, as well as what we're doing with the podcast network. You can check out the Mocha Podcast Network. You can check out Mocha TV, and you can check out Cafe Mocha Radio. We want the word Cafe Mocha to be synonymous with women of color. Yeah. So wherever you find that, you can find us.
Yeah. Is there anyone in particular who you haven't captured just yet, who you want to snatch up and put on one of your podcasts or be a part of your network, whether it be permanently or temporary, a voice out there that you've been vying for a minute?
There is a young lady. Her name is KJ Rose, and she comes from the music industry.
Okay.
She was at Bad Boy, and she now has become a motivational speaker. And she speaks to young women because she's young. I always say, if you keep young people around you, then you stay in a learning state of mind.
There it is.
And this young lady has something special that I'm going to get her.
Our thanks to
KJ Rose.
We'll help put the word out there.
That's right, KJ Rose. Our thanks to Sheila Eldridge, the life force and chief creative around Miles Ahead Entertainment, and Cafe Mocha. We thank you and salute you. You are an honorary soulmate.
That's right.
And so that means you got to come back again soon.
Yeah.
And we love FOXSOUL. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. We enjoyed you. Have a good one. Take care.
Take care now. Have a great one.